Welcome to All Souls, where we love beyond belief here at The Point. Agnostics, atheists, humanists, all kinds of seekers gather in community. No matter what you do or do not believe or where you come from, you are welcome here and you are loved. Good morning. It is going to be an amazing coming-of-age service this morning. I'm your intern minister, Corey Lovell. I'm so pleased to be here with you. In addition to the 10 young folks we're going to hear from today, we'll be joined by our Director of Religious Education, Shannon Boston, and Youth Director, Corey Smith, Chalice Lighters, Circe Boston and Ryan McGilvray, and Reverend Lavinar will be telling us a story and commissioning our youth. We've got some beautiful music, too, by David Smith and Rick Fortner. And also, let's give a round of applause for the parents of our coming-of-agers, too, for just producing wonderful human beings. And now I invite you to join me in our covenant found in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Our chalice lighting words this morning come from a former coming-of-age participant from First Parish in Bedford, Massachusetts. If you have a chalice at home, please light it along with us. This light unites us. This light unites us with our neighbors, our friends, and our enemies. Most importantly, this light unites us within ourselves. Our hearts, our souls, our spirits, this light unites us.
Good morning, church.
Good morning to you.
When infants and children are dedicated and welcomed into the family of All Souls, they are given a white rose. Today, these young people wear a white rose, a symbol of their new status in this church as graduates of the Coming of Age program. Young adults who are now eligible for full membership in this church with both its rights and its responsibilities. The tradition into which these young people are confirmed today has its deeper roots in far earlier times, in the great tradition of the Jewish prophets and teachers, and it extends far beyond our own association of free churches today. The stream into which these youth have entered is fed by a mighty cloud of witnesses, all those who have testified to the spirit of love, all those who have shown mercy and fought for justice, all those who have sought to establish equity and peace on earth. It is a tradition we proudly honor. Today, our hearts are lifted up as these young people aspire to that high community. Please join me in thanking this year's coming-of-age teachers, Janet Adams-Westcott, Brandy Phillips, and Missy Smith, our Director of Youth Programs, Corey Smith, and our ministers, all of whom have given generously of their time and energy throughout the church school year. And now I would invite Corey Smith to say a few words.
Good morning, church.
Good morning.
How's everybody this morning?
Doing okay.
The purpose of the Coming of Age program here at All Souls is to help our youth during a formative juncture in their lives determine who they are as individuals and, more importantly, what they believe spiritually. The Coming of Age program culminates with each youth crafting a personal statement of belief, a credo. In Latin, credo translates directly as I believe, but the more heartfelt translation that we use with our youth is I set my heart to. Credo writing and formulating their beliefs began back to school Sunday It is here where we introduce church-wide themes and different theologies. It is here where we began our spiritual journey together, that is faith formation. The Coming of Age program focuses on historic and modern Unitarianism and Universalism. Also, All Souls as an institution, and more importantly, we look inward into our own souls. This March, we return to the Unitarian city, Boston, Massachusetts. After an agonizing hiatus for obvious reasons, our Boston pilgrimage resumed with our freshman, sophomore, and junior classes. The Freedom Trail, Walden Pond, Arlington Street Church, and Harvard Divinity School were a few of the stops as we solidified our credos through a long weekend of exploration, introspection, and Dunkin' Donuts. This is where the magic happens. Instead of reading or writing excerpts from ancient texts, as other faiths do when confirming their youth, here at All Souls, we give our young people the opportunity to speak the truth from their hearts, from this pulpit, before this beloved congregation. Today, you will hear these wonderful expressions of belief, and in them, find reassurance that freedom of belief and diversity live on within this congregation. Out of respect for the integrity of this service and the importance of these credo statements to the individuals who crafted them, we ask that you refrain from applause after each credo and instead take a moment to silently contemplate each credo, such as this. It's an homage to Arlington Street Church in Boston. So, after the service, please take a moment to greet each youth personally in the Memorial Garden and tell them if they have touched your soul as much as they have touched mine. We will also have celebratory cake if you're so inclined. Finally, thank you for supporting the Coming of Age class, and we hope you enjoy the service.
Here, come. Oh, you got it? You got it? There you go.
My name is Adelaide Mize, and this is my credo. I believe in people. To clarify, I believe that people can help other people, not out of a sense of duty or in search of reward or eternal paradise, but because they want to. We've all helped someone without clear reason, no matter how small the means. We do it for the same reason news stories about communities coming together or strangers helping one another circulate so quickly. Because, on some level, we all hate to see another person in pain. We all want to make a difference. That difference may be small. Most of us will never change the world, but our actions can be life-changing to the people that we affect. I'm reminded at this point of a familiar story, one popular in our children's services. In it, a little boy is throwing starfish that have washed ashore during a hurricane back into the ocean. A man walks by and tells him it's pointless. He'll never be able to save enough to make a difference. The boy looks at him, picks up another, and throws it. I made a difference to that one. In the story, the boy attracts a crowd and they all work together to throw the starfish back into the ocean. But some causes don't attract masses. Some causes are championed by a small group of people, or even a force of one. There may be more bad than good in the world, but that doesn't change the fact that you can put good into the world. You can still make a difference to that one. Thank you.
I believe, of course, in the one and only Santa Claus. No, but really, though, I believe that nature is untamable. We can make a difference in our lifetime, and even a bit after that. But once everything in our world is gone, only nature will remain. I believe that humans are kind. We all have a desire to be kind and to help one another. In that very same way, nature is kind. Every living thing has a natural tendency to coexist. Even if that doesn't show up every day, it's still strong. I believe that it's the thought of our existence that makes us alive. What I mean by that is that even if we aren't among the living, we still live. Because we remembered. Because we remembered. In that way, it's extremely important to keep a good memory of the people you meet. You matter to them. They immortalize you. You immortalize them.
Hi, my name is Chaz Hall, and this is my credo. I think the world is a place to see, learn, feel, and experience. The thing that lets us experience these things is our body. We get to observe everything around us, even if we don't know what it is or how it got there. We get to move and explore the world using them, and they keep us grounded to the earth. But our mind lets us interpret these things around us and imagine how to use it. The mind lets you know how you're feeling and helps the body feel, see, and do. Without either of these, we cannot exist. And they are crucial to us exploring the world around us. But I believe that the most powerful thing about us is the soul. It makes every person, no matter who you are or where you come from, unique. Your soul is what guides your body and mind. It lets you have beliefs different from anyone else, but still keeps you whole. Every speech, sermon, or credo will be different. That is because each person can still believe different things and still be right. I think that makes us all beautiful. I think there is a God, but not as someone that fated our lives, but as someone that created it. I feel this way because the concept of life is confusing to me. Why would we, the only life we know of in this universe, come to exist in the first place? I think that life is wonderful. The mass of cells we call our body is incomprehensible and still works perfectly together. That is why I think there is a God, because I'm not sure how something so intricate could exist without something else that created it. I believe that when we die, our body will wither, but I don't think the spirit will wither. The spirit, I have come to realize, is one of the most powerful things about us, and it makes everyone who they are. I think that when we die, our spirit will continue on, whether that is in an afterlife, which I won't get to know what it is or if it exists until I'm there, or being reborn back into creation through another life. Even if nothing happens, I believe that you will live on through your legacy and the impact you made on the people around you.
My name is Sam Whittam, and this is my credo. In the words of Will Ferrell, God's not real. When you die, you're dead. All of my beliefs don't start and end with a Will Ferrell quote, but that one sums up how I feel about the most popular religious topics which I'm expected to talk about. The closest thing to God that's relevant to my beliefs is the collective of everything that isn't living or conscious. It's not something you worship, it's something you interact with. The purpose of life is to interact with everything. What we're meant to do is simply do. I want to do a lot with my life, but not necessarily in the world-changing way. I'm aiming for quantity over quality. That's not to say I don't want to do good or have good in my life, but I don't prioritize positivity over all else. Negativity is just as important. When we went to Boston, we visited the New England Holocaust Memorial. And as we were leaving, we saw a group of people wandering the streets of Boston in hot dog costumes. Obviously, the hot dog people were the good thing in comparison to the Holocaust, but the memorial didn't give the hot dog people their value, and the hot dog people didn't give the memorial its value. And it's the value we can find in terrible things that makes me believe that the main goal in life isn't to be happy. No, this isn't the part of my credo where I get pessimistic and emo, despite my appearance and the fact that I listen to My Chemical Romance, neither of which are actually emo. I just want to be satisfied. I want to take whatever the world throws at me and be satisfied with it. It's not practical to try to be happy with everything. I think we would all be ignorant and selfish if we did that, blocking out the things and people that don't contribute to our absolute happiness. I've seen people who try to be happy. I've been someone who's tried to be happy. It's like a fish swimming upstream, and the fish thinks they're just swimming against challenges when really they're swimming against the way things are. If I could talk to my past self, like one of those cliche scenes where it's like, I'm you from the future, my past self would say, oh no, I'm gonna be happy, you're just in denial. Then I would say, I'm not in denial, I'm in Oklahoma. That's why I don't believe in destiny, the happiness thing, not the Oklahoma thing. Destiny is kind of all about endings, but there's no ending to our stories other than dead and gone. Nothing is leading up to a moment where it's all wrapped up neatly in a pretty bow. There's no roll credits moment. Not everything works out in the end. It's not all going to be okay. Sometimes life sucks, and then you keep living. So seeing as I've avoided death thus far, I've chosen to love everything in life, warts and all. Just loving things because they're necessary. I mean, why not? It was kind of a really nice day, and I've already got the dress. Thank you.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, no, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, no, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you.
How's All Souls feeling today? All right. I'm Lucky Bowman, and this is my credo. I believe in God, though I'm not sure who or what God is. Since I was young, I would often look at sunsets or the scenery around me and see paintings or sculptures made by Creator. I think of God as someone who puts us on this planet and helps us along the way, but still lets us have control over our lives. I used to fear death until I thought of it as something you can't even imagine, like how a baby inside their mother wouldn't be able to picture its life when they were born. I believe after we die, we still live on in many ways, one being our legacy and how we affect others. Some people can have such a huge impact on your lives, and losing them is like letting go of a guiding hand. And that's why, as of now, I fear more the death of those around me than my own. And I hope I can see them after I pass. I believe our purpose is to do what we love by building a legacy and positively affecting others. So my mom doesn't know the story, so sorry, Mom, don't get me in trouble. But in 7th grade, I spent my first semester in Australia, and every day after school, I'd go to the river with my friends, and we'd climb these giant trees and jump into the water below us, which was like 20 meters away. And My life seemed as though it was an autoplay. No fear, no stress, I just existed and did what made me happy. That's what I believe everybody should be able to do with their lives, not jump off trees. Just like everything in our lives, our paths can shift in total different directions in a second. And as of this moment, I feel I'm here to experience life and make memories. Thank you.
My name is Sophia Cross, and this is my credo. For as long as I can remember, one thing has made sense. God is not real. The entire idea of believing in God was incomprehensible to me. As I got older, I started to learn more about religion and myself. Although I still don't believe in God, I can better understand why someone would. Before, I could never see the good in religion. Now, I see the community it gives you, the feeling of security, support, and purpose it gives you, all of which are very comforting, which is what I believe started religion in the first place. We needed explanations and comfort. I realized those same comforts are why I love All Souls. One of the many things All Souls has taught me is you don't need to have one set religion, belief, or God to get the benefits of church. All you need is the people, to come together in a supportive community. Family and friends are the most important things to me. They are who I turn to when I need help, not God. My family and friends keep me going on my worst days. They give me hope. They are my everything. When you die, I believe you stay with them in a way. I believe your soul stays in this world and is distributed where you're needed, almost like the carrying of seeds. The animals, wind, and rain carry little pieces of you. Your soul is left to sprout in the places you've been, hearts you've touched, and ideas you've inspired. Nevertheless, we can't know for sure what happens when we die. So I choose to take advantage of what I have right now, to not spend my entire life worrying about my afterlife. I believe we shouldn't let the fear of other people not approving of the way we express ourselves control us. You're never going to make everyone happy, but you can be happy with yourself. You can find the people that support your happiness, even if you don't agree on everything. I believe our fears don't define us. I believe you are what you love.
All right. My name is Maverick McLean, and this is my credo. I believe that when people come into this world, that they are neither good nor bad. There is no person who is born evil, and there is also no person who is born good. The way that you are raised determines if you are good or bad. People are always growing even after they've become of age. We are always changing and trying to do better. My mom has taught me that what you put into the universe becomes your reality. She's constantly reminding me every time I say something that she thinks is too edgy to not put that kind of energy into the universe. I believe in some special force in the world that started everything around us. They might not be watching you super close and making sure that you follow their exact rules. It's more of just a guidance. They're always looking out for everyone and loving too. To me, death is our end. I don't believe in a hell. It's not possible for a God to punish the people that they made. I'm comforted by the idea of a restful end. I think that all people in our lives are here for a reason. They help us grow and mature in little or big ways, whether that be from learning to be more or less like them. Everyone has a purpose on this earth, and the people in our lives help us fulfill it. Thank you.
My name is Eliana Plusoverdend, and this is my credo. Up until recently, I have not really thought about God's existence or if there is an afterlife. I still do not know if God exists, yet I like to hear other people's beliefs about God because they help me discover my own. However, I have thought about this life. I'm very much a people person. I love helping people, and many people have said that I'm very helpful and that I am always the first volunteer no matter what it is. I also love helping people because it gives me memories that nobody else is able to experience. Making memories with everybody is precious to me because life is precious and limited. I also believe that we need to treat each other with respect, love, and kindness, no matter who they are. I have been involved with protests ever since I can remember. My first protest was with Occupy with my mom. My mom and some of her friends walked the streets here in downtown protesting. I was there too. I was holding the sign upside down, but I was there. I was probably too young to understand what I was protesting for, but it felt right. I wanted to go to all the BLM protests, but it was 2020 and COVID was still new to us. I also went to my first Pride Parade last year, and it felt amazing being able to see so many people after being stuck inside 24 hours a day for 7 days a year, except for 7 days for a year and a half, except for the occasional walk. Also being able to see people who support the LGBTQ plus community and making me feel accepted and made me happy. I am so glad that I came to All Souls because you have become like a second family to me. I am so glad to become a part of this community that who has open arms to anyone who, no matter your skin tone, ethnicity, or who you love.
I am Zane Ricketts, and this is my credo. I believe in nature. Nature is absolute. It is not sentient. It does not have an agenda, and it is not God. It is the most influential and primal power of this world. Nature seeks the simplest path to the beginning, as a feather seeks the path of least resistance to the ground. I am stunned by the beauty of what it can create: Victoria Falls, Aurora Borealis, and the Great Barrier Reef. But I am also astonished by the terror it can instill: Pompeii, the Tangshan earthquake of 1976, Hurricane Katrina. Nature's power is so magnificent that it humbles me, for nature will always win. It is the nature of time to wash away everything and replace it with the next. Only after we realize that can we truly appreciate the beauty of this world and of ourselves. Nature is awesome. I find that word misused, awesome. It's often used as a synonym of great, amazing, or cool, when it is truly defined as inspiring an overwhelming feeling of reverence, admiration, or fear. Awesome has two sides, and it is the balance between these two that creates this feeling of awe. I believe in balance. All that is made of balance, whether it's the balance between wonderment and dread, supply and demand, or predators and prey. It must have balance or it will self-destruct until the balance is reestablished. Predators cannot survive without the prey they hunt, and prey will overpopulate and starve without the predators to keep them in check. Balance is the principle of this world. Darkness without light is an abyss, and just the same, light without shadow is blinding. You cannot have a coin with one side. To be honest, I got that off a Reddit post about Noria. The balance of light and darkness is what creates this beautiful world. Humans are no exception. We are made of the balance between good and evil. Like predator and prey, the prey may outnumber the predator, but balance is upheld, so long as the equilibrium is maintained. Good can and should surpass evil, but it is impossible to isolate one from the other. I believe there is an afterlife, the legacy one leaves. Individually, we have the power to impact this world. The inherent power of life is the ability to influence the lives of others. It's what creates knowledge, invention, and society itself, which is awesome. Every time we use this power, we create a ripple. Over time, that ripple will combine with the ripples of others into waves of change. We have opportunities to create these ripples whenever we want in a sea of our choice, to impact a community of our choice. Andy Warhol once said, "The idea is not to live forever, but to create something that will." We should be remembered for what we built or inspired, rather than solely by our descendants. We should create something that will be more than a point on a family tree. I believe in our nature as social animals to form relationships with the people around us. Our power to influence this world should not be wasted, but in the immortal words of Jonathan Larson, how can you measure the life of a woman or a man? We define the value of our lives. You may have heard the saying that blood is thicker than water, but the true saying is that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Forming bonds with the people we choose is part of the pursuit of happiness, and creating a home is part of our lives. We have a responsibility to use our power to help others. The balance of legacy and the bonds we build with others is what will guide my life. But hey, c'est la vie.
My name is Kaden Carlson, and this is my credo. I believe in something with a capital S. I don't know what it is. I don't know when or how it exists. Something that created the burst of energy that is our eternally expanding universe. I believe that there is an after, but something so complicated that we can't even comprehend it. I enjoy the thought of something after, but I think it's because I'm terrified of an infinite nothingness. I think in this after, there's no separation. All souls are truly and simply equal. I believe that there is no final judgment, that you live your life and then you die. Whatever comes after is a universal thing. I believe that instead of living your life in a way in which to please some entity, you should live your life out of love. I think that life is what you make of it, and that there's good in every situation, and I'm attempting to live my life by that. I try my best to love everything that I can, because I've been in a place where I felt like I couldn't. I love the vibrancy of the sunsets, the blueness of the sky, the neon grass. I love my friends and my family. Love is the spirit of our congregation, and it should be love that guides us. I believe in the 8 principles of the Unitarian Universalists. This is my moral compass, guiding me towards my truth and love. Thank you for not only coming here today to listen to hear us, but oh my goodness, okay. Thank you for not only coming today to hear us, but to listen.
Thank you to our coming. The truth is, we come of age over and over and over again throughout the phases of our years. And we're never alone on that journey. We've always got one another and the spirit of this community. And in that spirit, we hold space for Gladys Plattner upon the passing of her brother John. We hold space for Marion Odom, our beloved Dion Lambert's mother, as she recovers from an illness. And I invite you now, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, maybe set your feet flat on the floor, come into a space of meditation with me. Let's think about all we just heard, all the work and reflection that went into it, all the community and adventure that was gone on together to get to the point where they shared that wisdom with us today. Think about what lines stuck out to you, what ones you'll remember later on. I believe in people. It's the thoughts of our existence that keeps us alive. Our body may wither, but our spirits won't wither. I'm not in denial, I'm in Oklahoma. Like how a baby inside its mother couldn't picture the world outside. I believe in something with a capital S. All you need is the people to come together. We're always changing. We're always trying to be better. Open arms to anyone, no matter your skin tone ethnicity, or who you love. Nature's power is so magnificent that it humbles me. Y'all humbled all of us. Thank you.
$525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear. $525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear. How do you measure a year? How do you measure a year?
All right. Beautiful. Great job. I brought my drum because, normally I would get together with, outside of COVID time, I would be getting together with our coming of age class and telling them a story with my drum. We didn't get to do that this year or last year, so I thought I'd just bring my drum and do it in front of everybody. So we're gonna do it. It'll be a little different, but I hope you want to hear a story. You guys want to hear a story? All right, good. All right, let's see how this goes. Once upon a time, back before time was something that we carried around on our phones, in our pockets, and our purses. Back before time was something we carried in circles on our wrists. Back in those times, there were some people living in the northwest part of this nation, of this land, I should say, who lived in some huts out in the forest. Now, this is a story about a young boy, about your age. He was blind, so he couldn't see. His parents had both died, so he was an orphan, and he lived with his grandmother way out in the forest. Each one had a hut. One day, his grandmother came running over. Hey, guess what? There's a bear right outside our huts. This is great. We need a blessing. We've needed a blessing for a long time. So I'm going to go get your father's bow and arrows. But I'm not strong enough to pull it back and kill this bear, so I need your help. We're going to work together. We're going to make it happen. This is a great day. And she ran and she got the bow from the parents' hut and 3 arrows. And she put the bow in the young boy's hands. And she handed him the arrow. And he pulled back on the bow. And she said, little bit to the left. No, just a little bit to the right. Right there. And sure enough, boom, he hit and he flung the arrow, and it hit something. He said, "Did I hit it, Grandma? Did I hit it?" And she said, "No, you missed it. Be careful next time. Come on. We need this bear." So she handed him the second arrow. Same thing. He pulled it back. She helped him to aim it. "Did I hit it, Grandma? Did I hit it?" "No, you missed it again. My God, come on. You got to try harder. You got to try harder. Why do you, God, I just can't believe this. Come on, we only have one arrow left." So she hands him the last arrow. He takes a deep breath. He pulls it back. She tells him, little bit to the right, little bit to the left. "Did I hit it, Grandma? Did I hit it this time? I heard something." She said, "No, my God, you missed it. I can't believe it. You've been nothing but a burden this whole time. There's nothing good that ever happens to us, and you keep making mistakes, and you keep making it harder for us." And she just railed at him and yelled at him. The boy started to cry. He didn't want his grandmother to see him cry. He went into his hut, and he laid face down on his mat, and he just wailed and cried and wailed, and he called out to the Great Spirit, and he said to the Great Spirit, "Take my life. I'm nothing but a burden. I have no purpose in this world. I have no reason to live. I just want to die. Take my life. Don't let me wake up." And he fell asleep. Now we're going to end the story right there for a moment. And when I'm meeting with the class each year, we sit with that, and I say, just see what comes alive in you when you hear that story. What is it that is there something that bothers you or niggles at you and just makes you feel something about this story? And we start talking about it, and pretty soon everybody in the class has some story of somebody speaking down to them, or somebody in authority like a teacher, or somebody, even sometimes a parent or a grandparent who has been abusive in their language to them, or maybe it's a friend at school or a bully, or sometimes it's just high expectations that are put on them to do something that they don't have the ability to do, but they are expected to do it. And everyone has a story of some part of their life, some place, some time when they have been hurt, or they have maybe wanted to give up, which said it'd be easier not to be alive, that kind of thing. And everybody's been hurt, and we talk about it, and we share those stories, and everybody just opens their hearts and acknowledges that this is a part of life. This is a part of what we live. So you want to hear the rest of the story? Yeah? All right. Well, where were we again? Where were we again? Fell asleep. Thank you. That's right. The boy heard a knock on the door of his hut, and in walked a loon, one of those birds that both flies in the air and goes underwater. And he said, "What are you doing here?" And the loon said, "You called out to me last night." He said, "Oh, okay." And the loon said, "Come with me." And the boy thought, well, I got nothing to lose. I mean, I'm ready to pretty much die. I guess he's taking me to my demise. I don't know, but okay. So he followed the loon, but of course he was blind. So the whole time, he had to be touching the loon. But the loon was going really fast through the forest. And the boy was going up hills and around trees and over rocks and all around. And the boy was afraid he was going to get lost. And he was afraid he was going to lose his touch on this loon. And all of a sudden, he was going to not know where he was. And he got so far into the forest that he knew that at this point, he could never, ever make his way back. And then they came to the edge of some water. And the loon said, "Okay." The boy said, "Okay, what?" And he said, "Okay, now you have to get on my back." So the boy gets on the back of the loon, and the loon starts flying up in the air, way, way up in the air over the water. he gets way high up over the water, and he says, okay. The boy says, okay, what? And he said, jump. And the boy says, jump? Oh my God, this must be it. He's taking me to my end. And the boy takes a deep breath and jumps off the loon and falls. He's falling and he's falling and he's falling and he's falling until he's under the water and he can hear nothing. And he's just like going down, 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 further than he's ever gone down in his life. And he doesn't know what to do. He's confused. He's disoriented. He starts swimming. He starts moving his arms like he's not sure if he's going up or down or what ways he's going. And then right before he gets to the point where he's going to breathe in because he can't do it anymore. And he figures that he's going to breathe in all this water. And then he makes it up. He just makes it up above the surface. And the loon is right there on his shoulder. And the loon says, look around. What do you see? And the loon, and the boy says, well, I could see the silhouette of some trees over there, and I could see the silhouette of some hills, but it's all just kind of dark and black and gray. And the loon said, okay, get back up. We're going to go again. So they do it again, the whole thing, but this time they go even higher. And the boy jumps. Boom, and he's under the water, and now he's way down, and he figures, this is it. He's trying to kill me. And he's down there, and he starts swimming, and he does the whole thing, and then right again, just as he's about to just inhale and give up, he comes up on the surface. And the loon is right there, and the loon says, look around, what can you see? And the boy looks around, he says, you know, I could see some color. I see some grasses. There's some grass on the hills. They're green. I can see the sun in the distance. And the loon said, okay, get back on one more time. And they get back on the loon, and they go back up, and this time it's even higher, and this time it's one more time, and he goes, oh, no. And he's under the water, and this time he thinks there's no way he can get up from where he is, and he's just swimming and swimming and swimming, and he just finally lets go. And just as he's about to breathe, he makes it up. And the loon says, look around, what do you see? And the boy looks, and he sees the grasses. He says, I see 18 different kinds of grasses, and I can tell you the name of every single grass and every single tree. And the loon says, good, now look to your left. And he looks to his left, and he says, tell me what you see. And he says, I see my grandmother skinning that bear that I killed yesterday. And the loon says, then now you know what you need to do. The end. And then we sit with that story for a little while. And we start thinking, what is it about this story that you like or that bothers you? What is there a character? Is there an action or something that you can relate to your own life? And everybody starts sharing and wondering, every time it's different. Every class is different. Every person has some different ways of understanding this story and what he's supposed to do. And we talk about it for a long time, about the people in our lives and what they do. And we talk about betrayal, and we talk about mentors, and we talk about learning and coming of age. And one of the things we talk about is that in cultures across time, there have been rituals for young people your age, the age of our coming of age class. And an example of a ritual like this at coming of age from ancient times in cultures far from here, they would at this age, one night, the men of the village would dress up in masks and all kinds of stuff so that they couldn't be recognized, and they would pretend to be warriors from a neighboring tribe. And in the middle of the night, they would come in and they would grab the coming-of-agers, the young people your age, and they would drag them out. And these young people would think they're going to be killed. They don't know what they're being stolen, taken. They don't know what's going to happen. And the wives of the village, they and the mothers, they join in and they yell, "Oh no, don't take my children, oh my God." And so everybody's in on it in the village, and these young people get hauled off and taken way, way up into the woods, far away from where they live, and they get left out there, each one far away from the others. And they have to make their way back to the village. And it's an ordeal. And eventually they make their way back. Each one finds the resources, figures out their way, and makes their way back. And when they all get back, then the elders of the community, they bring them into the hut, and they circle around them. They circle them up, and then they talk about what was it that helped you to get back here. And they teach them about the resilience that they have in the face of difficulty, in the face of trials, in the face of, because the tribe knew that the young people were going to go through some stuff in their lives. And they wanted them to know at this point in their lives, when they were becoming adults and leaving their childhood, that they had the resources to get through the hard times, and that they could actually learn and be stronger and be wiser and more compassionate for having gone through something. Now, in these days and in our lives, there often aren't these rituals that are specified in the same way. However, we all go through stuff, and those are initiatory moments when we get initiated, if you will, into the next level of our lives, of our wisdom, of our love, of our compassion. And there's three things that go along with these initiations. There's some kind of separation, there's some kind of ordeal, and then there's an integration. That's when they come back into the hut and the elders circle around. Now, the problem today is that a lot of times we go through these separations, alienations, moments of loneliness. We go through the ordeal, but we don't do the third part, the integration. We don't have a community of people who love us, elders in our lives who we trust, who will sit around and help us to integrate the experience that we've had. We see this when people go to war. They'll go off to war. They get separated from their family, from their nation, from their country, separated from everything they know. And then they go through an ordeal, the ordeal of war, and then they come back. And if they don't get surrounded by people who can help them to reintegrate their lives back into what happened and how did I survive this, what did I go through, then a lot of times we find veterans getting addicted to drugs and getting into some difficult situations because they haven't been supported in that way. You're part of a community, and you're part of a church community here at All Souls. You have a lot of people who love and care about you, but know that you can get through whatever life throws at you. We know that because of what we heard. You've got the core values, the morals, and everything that it takes, the ethics and the love and the heart and soul. So just know that whatever you're going through, know that you can handle it. But remember, when you go through something, and we all go through stuff, you can't be at your age without having started to go through some things. Just know that, remember that third step. Find those people you can trust who have been through some things themselves, and make sure that you sit with them and let them bring you, integrate whatever's happened to you in a way that allows you to find your strength and know that you are going to be initiated over and over again, and that's how you become an elder. You become an elder by having gone through some stuff. In a lot of churches, they have testimonies. Well, you don't have a testimony unless you've been tested, and we're all tested in this life. And know that whatever test you go through, we know you can pass the test. And know that if you ever have that feeling like the little boy, that I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be alive anymore. Just know that at those moments, don't literalize that. That's not about dying. We all have thoughts like that sometimes. It's not about dying. It's about dying. Something in us needs to die. Something about what we're doing, or something about what's happening in our lives. It might be a relationship. It might be a job. It might be a habit that we've formed that needs to die. It's never you. It's never you. So if you ever have that feeling, just know, what is it in my life that I need to let go of so that I can move forward in my strength and power? Because we need you in this world, and as the leaders. And as the elders of this community, we welcome you into the covenant today of All Souls, and we raise you up knowing that we are the elders. We have that responsibility to hand this to you, and that you'll have the responsibility to hand this to the next generation. We love you. You are an example of love beyond belief. All right, thank you.
Today's offering was chosen by our coming of age cohort and goes to the Tulsa chapter of the ALS Association, in particular the Walk to Defeat ALS. Fundraising through the walk drives bold and urgent innovation as we march together toward a treatment and ultimately a cure for ALS. And our donations today toward the walk will have a direct impact on people living with ALS and their families at the local level. Through education, support groups, access to care, and advocacy, we can work together to defeat ALS and provide hope to people living with ALS and their families. Before we accept the offering, we do have a few announcements. Friday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. is trivia night. So get your teams together for a night of trivia. Individual tickets are $25. Eight-player team is $200. And all the money goes to the All Souls Youth Program and Coming of Age Pilgrimage. So please turn out for trivia night. We also have on Saturday, April 9th and 23rd at 9 a.m. to noon here in Emerson, the Justice Revival, which is going to be a really incredible weekend hosted by All Souls Justice Council and Tulsa Rise. Registration is encouraged but not required. You can just show up Saturday, April 9th and 23rd at 9 a.m. And next Sunday is our new member recognition service. So it will be a really lovely service welcoming our All Souls Tulsa and All Souls Everywhere members who have joined us in the past year. We now gratefully accept your offering to the Tulsa chapter of the ALS Association.
Amazing young people are going to bless us before we go. If you're here at All Souls, we invite you out into the garden. We've got cake and refreshments, and a chance for you to tell them how they've touched you and if something they've said has touched you. So we hope you can join us for a little reception. It's a beautiful day. If you're online, I hope you'll stick around to talk to each other about your experience of coming of age or your experience of this service today. But know that each of us goes through things in our lives, and each of us can choose to either become better and deeper and move forward in our lives in spite of what's happened, or to get stuck there. And so what we're teaching here to all of our people of all ages is that life throws all kinds of curves and all kinds of difficulties into our path sometimes, but those give us the opportunity to rise and become better and become more than we could possibly be. So with that, I will invite you. We were going to extinguish our chalice as you read these words, and if you have one at home, we hope you'll extinguish yours as well.
As we have reached the year of discretion of this free church, which recognizes in all prophets a harmony, in all scriptures a unity, and in all humanity a family, which seeks truth and freedom, justice and love, and individual discipline in social duty. We pledge the allegiance of our hands and hearts to the end that we may serve righteousness and love beyond belief.
Should be. That needed some dancers. I mean, that really needs. I know. I mean, chiffon.